Investors are asking about water. Most companies aren't ready. The investor conversation about water risk has been gaining specificity steadily over the last 2 years. In 2024, the questions in shareholder engagements and ESG ratings reviews were often still general enough to be deflected with policy statements and efficiency trend data. In 2026, they are not. The questions being asked are specific about data, specific about geography, and specific about whether management has actually done the analysis or is just describing the risk in general terms. The gap that most ESG teams face is not a gap in commitment or intent. It is a gap in the data infrastructure required to answer questions that have moved beyond what general sustainability reporting was built to produce. Understanding exactly which questions are being asked and what data is needed to answer them is the starting point for closing that gap before the next shareholder engagement season arrives. The specific questions being asked in 2026. The first category of questions is about geographic concentration of water risk. Investors are asking, what share of your revenue, production capacity, and headcount is attributable to facilities in regions classified as high or extremely high water stress, using WRI aqueduct or an equivalent methodology? This question cannot be answered with a general statement about water risk awareness. It requires a facility-level water stress overlay that maps operational concentration against a recognized data set. The second category is about financial translation. Investors are asking, have you modeled the operational and financial impact of meaningful water availability reductions at your highest exposure sites? What assumptions did you use, and has that analysis been reviewed by your board or audit committee? This question is asking whether water risk has been integrated into the financial scenario analysis process that TCFD and ISSB standards describe, not just acknowledged as a category of risk. The third category is about trend data. Investors are asking, what is your water withdrawal intensity per unit of output for your 3 highest consumption facilities, and how has that trended over the last 3 years? This is a data question that requires consistent facility-level measurement over time. CDP's analysis of water disclosures indicates that a significant proportion of reporting companies cannot provide facility-level trend data at this level of specificity. Why the data gap is hard to close quickly. ESG reporting systems are generally built to aggregate upward total portfolio water consumption, total recycled water, percentage of operations in water-stressed areas. Investor questions are increasingly built to disaggregate downward, specific facilities, specific watersheds, specific financial scenarios. Those are different data architectures, and moving from one to the other is not a reporting exercise. It requires changes in how operational data is collected, stored, and attributed. The facilities teams that manage water consumption data often do not have reporting processes designed to produce what sustainability and investor relations teams need. Bridging that gap requires active engagement between sustainability and facilities functions, a conversation that in many organizations has not yet happened at the level of operational specificity that investor questions now require. The ESG ratings parallel, MSCI, Sustainalytics, and S&P Global's ESG ratings methodologies have all increased the weight they place on physical water risk in recent updates. The direction is consistent: greater specificity in the underlying data requirements, more differentiation between companies that demonstrate active risk management and those reporting general commitments. For companies in water-intensive sectors, food production, beverages, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals, textiles, these methodology updates affect scores in ways that translate to index inclusion decisions and institutional investor eligibility. Building the investor-grade water risk picture. 3 capabilities matter most for answering 2026 investor questions. First, a facility-level water stress overlay. Every significant site cross-referenced against WRI aqueduct or equivalent, with the results expressed as a percentage of operational and revenue exposure. This is buildable in a focused workstream with existing tools. Second, a financial scenario for water availability. A directional model. What does a 20 to 25% reduction in available water at your 3 most water-exposed sites imply for operating cost and production throughput is more valuable to an investor conversation than a qualitative risk description. It does not need to be a full climate scenario analysis. It needs to be credible and specific enough to demonstrate that management has actually engaged with the question. Third, a board touchpoint. Investors are specifically asking whether water risk analysis has been reviewed at the board level. Making that happen, creating the right agenda item with the right supporting data in the right committee, is a sustainability leadership function that has a direct payoff in how investor conversations about water risk proceed. You've been listening to Sustainability Soundbites by Environment and Energy Leader. For partnership opportunities, please reach out to our team.